సన్షైన్ తెలుగు టీవీ ప్రేక్షకులందరికీ నమస్కారం. ఇవాళ మిస్సిసాగాలో లేక్షోర్ దగ్గర ఉన్న ఒక పబ్లిక్ పార్క్లో ఉన్నాను. యోగా క్లాసెస్ ఇక్కడ క్యాంప్ చేస్తున్నారు. దాంతో పాటు సరోజ గారు ఉన్నారు. నమస్తే సరోజాది.
నమస్తే.
సో we know that you've been doing yoga classes under the banner of Ambika Yoga Kutir for a long time. I want to ask you a specific question, like in what way has yoga been helpful to women who come to your classes?
Uh, Nowadays the thinking has changed. First of all, human, they never care about their health before. They always care about their families and always look after, and she never thinks about. But nowadays the awareness of yoga is everywhere, and it helps especially to women in that field because they have to go through physically, mentally a lot of stress, and yoga is definitely helping them in that field. They can calm down, they get peace of mind. Even physical small problems they are dealing with, as they grow, it really helps in every field of life.
Is there a general impression that yoga has to be done only by men, or is it more men who do yoga and less women who do yoga? What are your thoughts?
No, that was the thinking when the men oriented society was there. Now it's not the thinking, it's the same for everybody. Everybody has got the equal benefit of yoga, whether it is child, woman, man, anything. And there is no age limit. You can do yoga up to 90s, 91. After 14 you can do any time, and anybody can do anything. There is no restriction so far as yoga is concerned.
So talking about the age thing, what is there a specific preferred age when one can start yoga? Like if somebody is 50, can they start yoga at 50?
Yeah, after 14 child can start yoga, because our Guruji always tell that after a certain age only that lung capacity get improved, and that's the right age to give them some breathing exercises. Of course physical postures they can do whenever they want, but especially the breathing exercise, which really the students need nowadays, because the students are a lot of under stress, right? So it can really help them if they do it from the smaller age. The right age starts from after 14.
14.
Yeah.
Like say some women have not done yoga for a long. I mean, they only saw about yoga, but they have not done it, and they are in their 40s and 50s. Should they get into yoga, or should they say I'm already 40, 50, I don't want to do yoga anymore?
No. Yoga you can start at any age. Actually after 40s no woman gets back pain, knees pain, and lot of health problem they are going through. So the yoga really helps them, even though if they start at age 40. It's not there is no age ban. You can start anytime yoga, but better you start early, you get more benefited. That's it.
Now, in general, the thinking in most mindsets is we'll stick to allopathic medicine, we'll meet doctors, we'll go to gym, we'll do workout, that will take care of us. I'm not sure how yoga will take care of us. Some people might be thinking like that, and what is your thoughts on that?
Medicine, when it is required for your health, we never said that you should not take the medication, but for small problem you can avoid medicines, because yoga there is a
What I mean is public, sometimes they tend to go towards that allopathy or gym or physical exercise. They feel that is okay, and they feel they're not really 100% sure as to, because yoga may not be on the top of their mind, right? What are your thoughts on that?
No, even though if you go to gyms or you do other exercises, yoga is equally important, because it calms down your mind. You can focus more, because we have so many feedbacks from the younger generation that after doing yoga they can do better functions, because they can focus more. And yoga is, the other exercise may be just physical, but yoga relates to body and mind, so it also strengthen your mind. Your mind becomes more powerful, you get more confident. So that in that field yoga really helps them.
మన దగ్గర ఇప్పుడు ఇద్దరు యోగా గురువులు ఉన్నారు. వినోద్ గారు అండ్ సొనాలి గారు వాళ్ళతో కొన్ని క్వశ్చన్స్ అడుగుదామండి. వినోద్జీ, how many years you have been teaching yoga at Ambika Yoga Kutir?
Well, I started in 2001 and this is 2019, so the math tells me about 19 years now.
Okay. So, in Canada, uh, you know the lifestyle of Canadian people here. From all the yoga asanas what you teach, in your opinion, what asanas would be immediately beneficial for most Toronto people?
Well, a couple of things that comes to mind. First of all, before we talk about the postures, I'll talk about the breathing. And I think as a rule, most of the human have very shallow breathing. And being in Canada in cold weather, especially in the winter time, breathing is very, very important. And once you learn to breathe properly, that really helps you throughout the day. As far as the postures are concerned,
Coming back to breathing, what do you mean by shallow breathing?
shallow breathing is just taking like half a breath or not really doing it slowly enough so you can fill your lungs to its fullest, because that not only expands your lung capacity, but with expanded lung capacity it gives more oxygen into your blood, which goes throughout your body.
So
That's the beneficial part.
So you're saying like people do shallow breathing and that thereby they are depriving their lungs of the required oxygen.
That's correct. Yeah. So doing the deep breathing, it expands your lung capacity basically, and more oxygen to your body. And oxygen is the necessity for life.
Now, can you tell at least one or two principal benefits of increased, healthy intake of oxygen? Like what kind of, would people see any kind of physical impact on their body?
Yes, exactly. More oxygenated blood. Take brain as an example. When oxygenated blood goes to the brain, all parts of brain function, in a good way. And also that extra breath, extra oxygen in the blood gives you more energy throughout the body as well. And all of the organs actually, more the oxygen, the better the health of all the organs.
Now, Sonaliji, I have a question for you. Like when we talk about breathing exercises, the general impression, what many people say, oh, what is there in breathing? Breathing is breathing. What is special about breathing? Why do you want to keep on talking about breathing all the time? So what is your thought on that?
So generally, I can speak more about the Canadian culture here. Everyone is so stressed all the time. Like I work in mental health and addiction field, and I can see the difference that the breathing can actually make in people's lives, right? Because people are always stressed. They are mentally ill or dealing with some mental health issues, and they are always occupied with some of the thoughts. But when we do the normal breathing, the shallow breathing, as Vinod bhai just mentioned, that breathing helps them to calm down. That focuses their body, mind, deep breathing. The body health, it of course focuses everything, right? And it helps them to limit their anxiety. So rather than going for medications, people can actually use these yoga techniques to work with their mental health issues or just trying to make themselves healthy. And also in this yoga, we do a lot of chanting, we do a lot of prayers.
Now coming back to this, like one thing seems to be interesting. I'm just picking up from what you said. Instead of going for medication, they can go for meditation.
Yes.
Oh, medication.
Instead of going for medication, you can go for meditation. Now, the question on mental health you were mentioning, like, have you seen any of your, patients who have been through mental health issues? Have they come to any yoga classes? Either here or any classes, and do you think it has had any impact on them?
Absolutely. I have number of clients that I have worked with. They have used the yoga techniques. In some of the work practices, we also take the yoga sessions to help clients to meditate and help them to bring their anxiety and mental health issues to the basic level. When I talked about the medication, I'm not against medication. I don't want that to be sound like that. However, sometimes what happens is that it's a psychological effect that people feel that if I take medication, I'm going to feel cured. But you really don't need. And sometimes the medication has a side impact also, which is not there in the yoga or yoga practices. The side effects, like the bad side effects, are not there. So I always focus on mindfulness practices, yoga meditation during my work.
So I'll just say it in a little humorous way to our audience, like so coming for breathing exercises kind of calms your mind. So for example, if you're fighting with your spouse a lot, maybe you I'm not saying you will cut down on fighting totally. Maybe instead of 3 fights a day, you'll do 1 fight a day. Maybe.
Or you do the healthy fights in between each other.
Yes, exactly. And the couple that practice yoga together stay together.
Right.
Good evening. We are with Sandhya and Nidhi. Nidhi is your daughter, I guess?
Yes.
Okay. Sandhya has been to yoga classes for how long?
It's been almost 2 years. I did the course, in fact, 10 years back. Then I took a break, a big break. Then I felt I was not that fit as I was before, so I joined, and now I've been constantly doing it.
Now you got motivated enough to bring your daughter into yoga?
I think we don't understand the importance of yoga at a very young age, and we were not introduced at a very young age, and we always come to it when you're broken. So I guess, for them, I think it's very important at a very young age to learn this so that they understand the importance of it. So I wanted to give her a choice, and if she wants to continue, it's her choice and she can do it. But at least I wanted to expose her to that information and knowledge.
And what you said is so powerful when you said that we come to yoga when we are broken and not when we are healthy. That is a very profound statement. So, Nidhi, how long have you been doing, how many classes have you attended so far?
I've done 13 weeks.
And multiple questions like how does it feel going to classes, and how do you feel going through doing the yoga classes, and what kind of impact it is having on you, if at all?
Well, of course, waking up in the morning is hard, but I think afterwards you feel much fresh, like a lot more fresh, so it feels better. And it helps a lot in, like, if you're stressed out and calming yourself down, it helps. Yeah.
Does this have any impact at all on your academic work or your activity at school? Any impact at all?
Yeah, I'm able to focus more on my work, so yeah.
Could you give me an example of you being able to focus more?
Usually there's a lot of distractions if I'm studying at home because, there's always something happening, but I can kind of zone it all out and work on what I'm supposed to work on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You think it is yoga has an impact on you? Okay. Good evening, Adi. We are still at the yoga camp on Lakeshore. We have with us Rajendra Garu.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
We're going to ask him a specific question. Rajendra sir, what age did you start practicing yoga, and is there a recommended age for children when they should start practicing yoga? And given the Canadian context of how busy kids are, how should they be, how should they be brought into yoga? Your few words, sir.
Okay. Hi. As far as I am concerned, I started yoga maybe at the age of 15 years of age. I don't even remember it correctly. But after practicing a lot, I learned it from my grandfather. And then as I grew up, I wanted to learn more about the theory part of it. So that is how I started learning about it then. And as far as the teaching of yoga to the children, there is no such a specific age we can define. But what we recommend is that children, at least up to the age of 12 or 14, after that we can teach them. Because before that age they are very active and we cannot mold them into that. So by the age of 12 or 14 they get some maturity and we can teach them and we can ask them to sit quietly, silently. And at that age, that is the proper age that they can learn something. So it's recommended that after age of 12 or 13, 14, we can teach the children on yoga. And as far as you said, in a Canadian context, what can be done? So I don't think that it has something to do with the region or geography or something like that. Yoga is for everybody, so we can teach yoga to anybody. But depending on the um, work culture or how busy they are, we can mold them like that. So that is what the recommendation is.
So, um, like they have children have a lot of things at school and to be done. So, how often should they come for classes, or how often should they practice yoga, and like what kind of benefit it will have for them uh, at their school or anything?
Yeah, again, yoga is not something like that we can force on somebody. So there is no such specific rule we can say that they must do it on 2 days or 3 days. It is the practice that we have to implement into them, and as they get benefit from that, interest into the subject, they can practice it every day. So, like you can find that some people they do yoga every day, maybe 2 hours in a day, like that. So, some people don't find that time, or they probably don't find the interest. Now, as far as personally, if you ask me, we are so much involved into it that without that our day doesn't start at all. I start my work every day at 6 o'clock. I start from my home at 5:15. So if you calculate backward, before that we have to do our morning routines and put some yoga time. So I get up at 3:30 in the morning every day. So it is basically the interest you develop and the benefit you get, and then automatically you get used to it. So that is how we have to build it into the students. In the school also we can take it as one of the subject, but it has to be done at a proper age and proper way. That is, we don't want to force it on somebody. The student should get interest out of it. That is the way it has to be practiced. Yeah.
So I think I'm just borrowing your word. You were saying that yoga could be one more activity for children. That's what you said. So I'm sure that this show, this little talk with Rajendra Garu, would inspire some parents, and maybe it will help some students also. So thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so it's our third year of attending this yoga camp. We've been practicing yoga with a wonderful group since
2016.
Yeah, of course, 2016. not so long. 4 years almost. So it's did all the sea of good for us, and we are practicing. We continue it to practice yoga every day almost. We actually are involved in
Something what is
which is repeaters yoga group almost every day from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock.
early morning
via Skype, also organized by that wonderful group. And it's
and we advise anybody who likes to get in a company of a good people.
It's fantastic
And
experience. It's
Make-
really, we feel better. We are more flexible. You know, we are not spring chicken, as you can see. It's been
Years
we've got
when
our
we were-
experiences. We are still flexible. I personally, I am more flexible than I used to be when I was 18 years old. So it's wonderful. No pains.
No pain. Yes.
We learned from our Guruji, Nikam Guruji. He is the one who started Ambika Yoga Kutir in India, Thane in 1965. And then now there are like 100 branches all over the world in India. This branch here, Ambika Yoga Kutir Toronto, was started in 1998. It was started in a small apartment building, room apartment, and for a couple of hours it rained there, and then we moved because place was not enough, and then we got fortunately opportunity to do the yoga thing in Peanut Plaza, another community center. There we ran Ambika Yoga Kutir courses from 1999 until 2006. And
So my question is, you started in 1999, and you don't charge people any money for your classes, and I find it very quite surprising. You're living in North America, and everything is charged over here, and you're bringing the tradition from a long time back. So can you just say a few words on that, sir?
you know, when money is the center of all the culprit, if I charge you the money, you would feel that, okay, am I getting worth for what I have paid or not? So the angle becomes commercial, how much profit I am getting, how much I am saving, how much is my bank balance, and then greed goes on. If money factor you take out from this thing, it is all simple, like there is no complexities, and then you can impart more. Besides, I learned yoga, I did not pay for my yoga in Ambika Yoga Kutir, because Ambika Yoga Kutir never charged it. So if I have to find out the center and it is the same center, I am running on the same principle that we have, this Ambika Yoga Kutir should run to the n number of people. All the element that they are having, it could be managed very nicely, and there is no charge for that one.
But you were also mentioning that initially you were trying to find a place for it, and then that was a bit of a challenge. Now, the one solution for finding a good place is to charge people, but you're not charging, but you're still doing it. It seems you're stretching yourself on both, stretching yourself a lot. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, because 2006 when Toronto Parks and Recreation, they wanted to impose the utility fee, utilizing fee for the classes that we were running in that Peanut Plaza, Oriole Community Center. Then a lot of pressure came on me, and people said, we are willing to pay, why don't you do like that? And again, that money factor, I did not want it. It was hard, but it was patient, and we'll find a way. If one door closes and if our will is strong, other door gets open. It's not for any selfish motive. We are doing this yoga, we are doing for the people and people's health, and so many people know us, and they then propagate our yoga course. So it so happened that when we didn't have anything, one director from Sringeri Vidyabharati Foundation, who did the yoga course in our Oriole Community Center, he realized, he knew the importance of yoga and how we are imparting. So he invited us, that okay, Shuklaji, you can come here, you can join and you can have our class there. And so there are good people around there also. So only we have to look for it. But we should not be succumbed to charging money, because it is difficult. It is different between imparting. I am imparting something, and then I am teaching something, or teaching with some motive. Because I am imparting that whatever knowledge I got, I am imparting. I don't get anything out of it.
That is very special. So, since 1999, approximately how many number of students have gone through your yoga classes?
Around, because in 1996 it was 1,500, it would be around more than 3,000 people would have got the certificate. Yeah, and we did 54 batches total, and each batches, initially batches used to be 35, 40. After a couple of years, it was like 80, 90. So now is the chance, with the time when we enroll people, we have to tell them to come early, because we do registration only in person, not online or something. And then we have to really send back some of the people, because we have restriction of the numbers.
Okay. So you said the course is for how many weeks course is that?
It is, the course is for 16 weeks. It comprises of 16 weeks, where in first 4 or 5 weeks are very important, where we learn cleansing process, how to cleanse the body. And then there comes the breathing, how you cleanse the body with the breath. So then various breathing techniques are involved in that one. There is a part which is called meditation. So how you calm down your mind. It is yoga for mind, body and soul all together. And then there, of course, there is yogic physical postures. They run for 8 to 9 weeks. So it's comprehensive course covering entire stuff. Once you come out of this, it is not, you are not just learning yoga postures and mastering this. You have good knowledge and practice of how to meditate, how to concentrate, how to cleanse our body, how to take care of your body so in a preventive way, so that in future also you will not get any of the ailments.
I have a very relevant, simple question here. Yoga has originated from India, but coming into Canada, we see more white people practicing yoga, and you should be able to tell me, like, how many, what is that like? Do you see more of Indians practicing yoga?
We have at least every time we have 10 to 15% of white people in our yoga session, yoga course, and you will be surprised to know that they are so much dedicated. They don't have any questions why we are chanting this or why this. It is never religious for the one. They got convinced that this is like a universal thing. It is not pertaining to any particular religion or deity. And when it is a universal thing, and then they are devoted, they are more regular. They seldom take their off. In worst circumstances, they will try to come. And they finish the course very nicely, and they continue also. So they really have faith, and they work in it, and then they talk to other people, and then next time other people join us.
So my questions are like, this has originated from India. How come, going by what you said, is how come we our own people don't practice yoga that much? What are your thoughts on that?
Sometimes we may have some fixations that this is all right, this is not all right. We try to be critic when we are learning rather than just coming as a student. So when we are critic, we try to find, okay, this is not all right, this should be there in that class, they are teaching like this, in this TV show I saw like that. So their mind is not blank. They have something always there, and they have that. With that, when they come, then there will be a problem. So that's one of the things how they approach yoga. So yeah.
Thank you. That was pretty informative. So శుక్లా గారితో మాట్లాడుతున్నాము. అంబికా యోగా కుటీర్కి ఆయన చీఫ్. టొరంటోలో శృంగేరి విద్యా భారతి టెంపుల్లో వాళ్ళు యోగా క్లాసెస్ టీచ్ చేస్తారు. ఇట్స్ 16-week కోర్స్ అనుకుంటాను. బట్ 7 AM to 9 AM once a week రావాల్సి వస్తుంది. But I'm telling you, Andy, this is a very nice course, and the ambience and the way the teachers వాళ్ళు టీచ్ చేసే పద్ధతి చాలా ప్రశాంతంగా ఉంటుంది. మీరు యోగా చాలామంది చేసి మేబీ యు ఆర్ డూయింగ్ యోగా, ఐ డోంట్ నో, బట్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు గెట్ ఇన్ టు యోగా, ఐ థింక్ అంబికా యోగా కుటీర్కి మీరు ఖచ్చితంగా వచ్చి మీరు అట్లీస్ట్ చూడాలి. అండ్ ఐఎమ్ వన్స్ అగైన్ సర్ప్రైజ్, ఎందుకు వాళ్ళు ఛార్జ్ చేయట్లేదో నాకు తెలియదు, బట్ దే ఆర్ నాట్ ఛార్జింగ్. అండ్ సో లుకింగ్ ఫార్వర్డ్, thanks sir for your spending your time and telling us some valuable tips about yoga and Ambika Yoga Kutir to
Thank you Gopal for giving me opportunity to present ourselves.
You're welcome.